What do you think if Kenya and Uganda gets into a war? Well, recently, Ugandan President Mr. Museveni promised that there might be future wars between these two countries.
In future, we are going to have wars.
Why would he say that? Remember that Uganda is a landlocked country whereby if it needs to import things into their countries, they must use either Kenya or Tanzania.
How do I export my products? That's why we have got endless discussion with Kenya, and then this one stops, then another one comes, then the railway, the pipeline, what we discuss. But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I am entitled to that ocean. In future, we are going to have wars. In the future, we are going to have wars. How can you say that you are in a block of flats, that the compound, there's no way you can say, so may I just go, these people, you are really endangering yourself. How can you have a situation like this? Uganda is landlocked inside here. But where is my ocean? My ocean is the Indian Ocean. No, it's wrong.
So, here is the twist. Why is Museveni threatening Kenya and not Tanzania? After all, Uganda also uses Tanzanian ports too. Tanzania gives it another route to the sea, yet Museveni rhetoric has focused on Kenya's coast. Is it just political theater, or is it a deeper motive at play? Some analysts suggest that this is less about trade and more about geopolitics and symbolic power.
I will not comment much on what His Excellency President Museveni said with respect to our oceans, but I believe very much that he does have a fairly great understanding.
On Kenya's government, the officials seem to have ignored what Museveni is saying, and they take those words as a null and void and nothing to be serious about. Meanwhile, ordinary Kenyans online through TikTok and other social media pages are making comedy of it. Everyone giving their comments about it and discussing about it in a comedic way. These are some of the comments from social media by the Kenyans.
Uganda kitu wako nayo wanaweza zidi Kenya, labda matoke. Unajua matoke? Matoke imejaa na mapera. Lakini matoke ndio wanaweza zidia Kenya.
Yeah, 82nd birthday. Na ana siktam nyingine. Alright. Na wa Uganda watamchagua overwhelmingly na 98%.
Ala.
Hivyo ndio watu wananiambia. Anapendwa sana.
Waganda wanampenda.
Yaani watamchagua tena na tena na tena.
Lakini kuuliza swali.
Uliza.
What happened to Besigye?
Besigye yupo tu.
Yupo ndani mpaka saizi.
House arrest ilivyoisha, saizi ameshikwa, anajaribu kuangalia haki hapa na pale, inakataa, lakini nasemaje, ipo siku.
Manake baadhi ya wakereketwa wa siasa pale Uganda na Afrika kwa jumla wanasema kwamba Bobi Wine ni upinzani uliojengwa na serikali. Wanasema kwamba laiti ingalikuwa ni upinzani.
If we were to solve this legally, what would happen? So, legally things get complicated under UNCLOS, which is the UN Convention of the Law of the Sea. Landlocked states do have the rights of access to the sea through countries, but, and this is a key, it doesn't mean they own part of another country's coastline. Remember, Museveni said that he wants a part on the Indian Ocean. Yes, through Kenya's coastline. Under this law, do you think Uganda can get a part in the Indian Oceans where they can be importing their goods and whatever they want to import into their countries? Remember, Museveni is arguing, or we might argue that Museveni wants a coastline part so that he can import things like military equipments or things that he doesn't want the Kenyan government basically to know that he is importing, or he wants to do his own business without any interference. Remember, when you want to import something through a certain country, they must know what are you importing. Now, do you know Museveni comments are not just coming from anywhere? Why am I saying this? This has happened again in Africa, or it has been happening in some countries in Africa which are landlocked countries. Across Africa, landlocked countries have long negotiated and sometimes pushed aggressively for better access of the sea. So, Ethiopia has been fighting with Somaliland, which is a part of Somalia. It's not there in the map, but it's part of Somalia. So Ethiopia has been fighting with Somaliland and Eritrea. After Eritrea gained independence in 1993, Ethiopia lost its sea access. Since then, it has relied heavily on the port of Djibouti. But recently, Ethiopia signed a deal with Somaliland to potentially lease 20 kilometers of coastline, which is a bold move that triggered diplomatic tensions. In West Africa, landlocked countries like Mali and Niger have backed initiatives to use Atlantic ports in other countries. They don't demand land, they demand transit corridors that's similar to what Uganda may really want. But Uganda doesn't want a corridor, it wants to own a part of coastline in Kenya. In Southern Africa, some countries like Malawi and Zambia have explored using river corridors through Mozambique to reach the sea. These are legally complex but show how creative and persistent landlocked nations can be. These cases show there is precedent but also strong limits. Most of these moves happen through diplomacy, leasing agreements, or transit treaties. So what risk could happen if Uganda decides to escalate this? There are several risks that could happen. Number one of the risks are like economic risk. In economic risk, Uganda could benefit from it. This is by lowering their cost of importing things into their countries. Other risks are like military risk or security risk, whereby Museveni wants to build a navy which may not be realistic. And there are also diplomatic risks. Kenya could push back harder, or Uganda rhetoric might force renegotiation of transit agreements, which could strain East African cooperations. But if Kenya decides to respond calmly and enforces legal norms, this could lead to more robust regional dialogue and long-term integration rather than conflicts. So what do you think about Museveni's comments about his needs of accessing sea and owning some part of Indian Ocean coastline, especially in the Kenyan side, which at this case is Mombasa? Should Kenya grant Uganda a control of part coastline in Mombasa? Or what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. My name is Joseph Kilo and this is Nomad Africa. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't, still give it a thumbs up. Hope to see you on the next one.